I'd like to, Chaplain Bob with the Augusta County Sheriff's Office is going to come up here and start us off with a prayer.
Well, it's not for short people. If I may take 1 minute of your time to give a testimonial, a year and a half ago I walked into the sheriff's office after 26 years of working in law enforcement as a chaplain, and I felt very welcome, and I walked into the sheriff's office and he said, "I'm glad you're here." And he has made me feel that way in this program for all this year and a half, and he supports it wholeheartedly. And I'm very proud to say that it's nice to see a sheriff that young stand up for what he believes in. And I'm very proud of that. On that note, let's pray together. Dear God, as we begin a new election year, we ask for your guidance as we move forward. We thank you for the leadership of our sheriff and his dedicated and unselfish staff. We pray for the deputies and all those that serve the Augusta County Sheriff's Department. Please grant us wisdom so that we can complete our tasks with integrity and honesty. Help us to make the right decisions and show us your pathways so we can continue to serve this community. Thank you for allowing us to serve these past 4 years. And if it be your will, allow us to serve another 4 years. We thank you again, Father, for life itself and for all that you have done for us. And please grant us your peace. In your wonderful name we pray. And we all said together, Amen.
And now I know you don't want to sit here and watch me talk all night, so I'm going to move on to who you came here to see. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Michelle Fix, and I am Donald's sister. For the past 3 years, our family has watched Donald work tirelessly day and night. You see, Donald is a leader. The difference between a leader and a boss is that a leader coaches, relies on goodwill, generates enthusiasm, says we, develops people, and gives credit, whereas a boss demands, relies on authority, issues ultimatums, says I, uses people, and takes the credit. Being a leader is what makes Donald special and makes him the people's sheriff. And everything that he does from his heart. He has a passion to serve and protect this community that we grew up in, and for the men and women that work at the sheriff's office. His goal 3 years ago was to be the people's sheriff and completely turned the Augusta County Sheriff's Office around. He set specific goals to accomplish this, and that is exactly what he has done. I started organizing the campaign for this year and looked at the events that we could attend and what he has accomplished. And I'm not sure what we can do differently, because since being elected, he still attends all of the parades. He goes out in the community, he attends fundraisers and events, just like he did when he ran for sheriff in 2015. He does this while accomplishing so much. I encourage you to go to his website, which is now live at www.donaldsmithforsheriff.com, and read through all of his accomplishments during his first term in office. And he is not done. Once I saw them all down on paper, it just blew me away at how much he had accomplished in such a short time. For those of you who were here 3 years ago, I know you can see the difference. But to read it and see it in black and white says so much more. He still has visions that he wants to accomplish too. He's not done. That is why we need your help to ensure that he remains in office so that he can continue to lead the Augusta County Sheriff's Office in a positive direction. So without further ado, I am one proud sister here, to announce your candidate for Sheriff of Augusta County again, Donald Smith.
I'd like to start by, on a thank you note basis, and thank all of you for coming out to support me. I am very humbled to come out and see this many people come to support our sheriff's office and support me. I thank God for allowing me to serve His kingdom and be your sheriff. My family, my grandma, she's 99 years old. She's sitting right here. And we just got back from the Bahamas like 2 weeks ago, so we had a good time. A lot of you were there. I would like to thank my Spring Hill family, and I would also like to thank my family at Verona Methodist Church as well. Try to be very active in both churches, and I really appreciate the support, the prayers, the cards, and the guidance that everybody prays over me and provides. And I'd also like to thank the people, mainly the voters who believed in me. There were 3 other candidates when I ran the last time. I was the youngest out of all of them, and I really appreciate the people standing behind me and believing in me. 4 years ago, I decided to announce as an American. I wasn't into the party politics. I wasn't into all the rhetoric and all the stuff that was going on. And I stood in front of the entire county then, and I announced as an American. And I'm going to stand here 4 years later, because it took me a whole year campaigning. I've been in office 3, but it's 4 years later, and I'm going to announce to you that I'm running as an American again. The sheriff has 2 main jobs. My job is to protect this community and safeguard each and every one of you and protect your constitutional amendments, the United States Constitution, and the Constitution of Virginia. And that's what I'll do. And that's what I do every day, regardless of party politics or anything else. That's what my job is. And this is not war on the Republican Party. This is not war on the Republican Committee. I thought long and hard, and I could have the Republican nomination without a shadow of a doubt with your all support. But I felt like it was my firm belief that I need to be independent from all that to where I can cross party lines and enforce the law fairly, impartially, and I don't have to worry about a bunch of political comeback. There is a lot of high priority cases that have come across my desk over the past couple of years, and I've acted on every single one of them. And I don't worry about the political fallout from it. I'm loyal to the people, and the people expect me to do what's right, and that's what I do. There's been some stuff that's already come across my desk that's on Facebook. I don't watch a lot of Facebook. I don't feed into, you will not see a lot of comments come from me on Facebook. I try to get information out there, but I do not use it as a forum to argue with people. There's a lot of stuff that's come out about need a Republican sheriff for gun rights. I have sat on the Virginia Sheriff's Association Legislation Board for the last 2 years. I look at every bill that's going across the General Assembly, has anything to do with your gun rights. I work hard to kill it before it even makes it to law. I'm very, very engaged in what's going on, and I'm very, very loyal to the people that are in this county. I know your gun rights are precious to you. My dad, my sister, my family, they're a long line of hunters, and I'm smart enough to know that there's almost 75,000 people in this county, and there's 100 law enforcement officers in my office. I'm smart enough to know that your guns, good people with guns, may one day be somebody that we call on. So don't have to worry. As long as I'm sitting in that office over there, you don't have to worry about anybody taking them, because I want you to have them. I campaigned on certain things, and I'll highlight on them real quick. I don't want to bore you. But when I came in office, I campaigned that I would provide stronger communication. I established a Facebook, and I try to put the information out there to the community as quickly as possible to keep the people of this community informed. The Sheriff's Office, we updated our website. We brought it into where the information is current. You can watch it on, you can look at it on your smartphones, you can look at it on your computers, you can deal with it. It's compatible with all the technology. Stronger communication between the Board of Supervisors. I don't just speak to the Board of Supervisors when I need something. I talk to them on a weekly basis. They call me. If there's a problem in your all's district and you reach out to your Board of Supervisors, I can assure you, they're going to call me on my phone. We're going to work through it and we're going to address it. The business owners. A lot of the business owners, they have direct contact with me. I'm in a lot of business groups, and I try to be very active. Fiscal responsibility. I've touched on the Board of Supervisors and the relationship that I've established with them, but throughout the budget cycle and throughout the budget process, I speak with them with every question they have. Every line that they want to know about, I talk to them, I explain it to them. I've worked very hard the last 3 years in office to establish a working relationship with them and talk directly to them. I don't pad the budget. I don't put extra stuff in there thinking, oh, they're going to cut this much and I'm going to be left with this. I don't do that. I do the straight up approach. This is what I need. If we can do it, let's do it. If we can't, let's move on. But the men and women that work behind that badge, they are who I fight for, and they are, I go to bat for them year after year. Improved readiness. I restructured the office to meet the needs of the community. Getting deputies on the road when I needed them. I moved people outside of the Sheriff's Office doors. I put them out on the road. I moved people around in the Sheriff's Office, getting people in the right places to get the job done. We are extremely, extremely busy. This county is growing, and the Sheriff's Office, we are trying to answer the calls and be as proactive as we can. I installed a gym at the Sheriff's Office. I'm very big into physical fitness. I want my deputies physically fit. Our military, our soldiers are fit. I want my deputies fit. I want my deputies to be healthy. I don't want my deputies to retire out and have a 3-4 year lifespan. I put a gym in the back of the Sheriff's Office. It didn't cost any money to the taxpayers. I went to the health care provider, our insurance provider. They paid for half the gym, and the drug dealers, where I seized their money, paid for the other half. I owe a lot of thanks for the improved training that we had. The deputies, our deputies, the people, our instructors have gone to the latest and the greatest training. They've come back and pushed it down through the deputies, and we are constantly trying to better the deputies to be ready for the challenges that we face. I have a 13-man reserve deputy program. A lot of them are here. They volunteer their time, and they work alongside the men and women of the Sheriff's Office to make sure they have the backup and make sure that they are there to help. And I owe a lot to them because they're volunteering their time. They're putting their life and their families on the line to come out and provide security for this county, and they do it with no pay. And they deserve a round of applause. Collaboration with other agencies. I worked for the Sheriff's Office for 13 years. I've never, not one time, seen a state trooper inside the Sheriff's Office back in behind the four walls. They would come in the lobby, they go to the Master's office, and they go right back out the door. Every trooper in Augusta County has a key to my office. They have 24/7 access to my office. They can come in, they can interact with my deputies. We've worked to reestablish a relationship. There's a drug task force that's extremely active in this community. It's run out of the office now. The DEA, I've got an award from the DEA for the last 2 years for my aggressive approach on the drug epidemic. And I promised to be a professional leader. I worked very hard on my education and going to college. When I was hired at the Sheriff's Office, I was one of the youngest deputies there at the time. I graduated from Blue Ridge Community College, and when I decided to run for sheriff, I decided I was going to go back to school. I hated every minute of it. And several times I dropped my books and set my books down, and God made me go pick those books back up. And I worked and worked and worked to get my education. I attended the National Sheriff's Institute last year. It's a national school for sheriffs all over the country. I attended it with about 40 other sheriffs. The National Sheriff's Association flew me out to Colorado, and I was out there for a week and a half and went through some of the best executive training that the nation has to offer. I was accepted into that program. I had to apply and was accepted, and I graduated. And I keep on pushing to better my education and better myself for the men and women that I serve and the community that I serve. Under my leadership, there were several cold case murders in Augusta County. I will not take the credit from this. Mike Rohn, where are you at? Over there against the wall. He was very instrumental in solving the Melvin Spencer case down in the Camorra area. He and I worked a lot of hours on that case. We worked day and night, and quite frankly, we probably got tired of talking to one another. David Vatter case, Stephen Kaysen, I know you're here. Right there. Stephen, he was instrumental in that case. And I have to give a shout out to Tim Martin. If Tim Martin and I came into office, he's the Commonwealth attorney back there. He was instrumental in working hand in hand, and we opened those cases together, and we worked hand in hand in that. And the relationships that he and I have built, we're straight up with one another. We don't sugarcoat anything. He tells me how he feels, I tell him how I feel. We work very well together. And I appreciate everything that you did on helping us get those cases taken care of. Accreditation was a major topic last year. There goes my mind, family. The accreditation, it's been a big topic. It was forfeited when I came in. It was forfeited over an evidence debacle, over $4,000. And the investigation, it's still going. There's still stuff going on with it. It has been extremely hard for the Sheriff's Office to get rid of that black cloud I want to shake that black cloud more than anybody does. I can assure you that my major that runs my evidence room that has over 10,000 pieces of evidence in it, because I promised I would not destroy one piece of evidence until that thing was concluded and done with and my evidence room had been released. It has not been. I told you all that I was going to work as hard as I could to get the agency accredited. But the murders took precedence over the accreditation hanging on the wall. The accreditation, we're slated to get it back. Well, we're slated to do a mock accreditation at beginning next month, and I hope to have the accreditation fully be reinstated by June or July. So that's what we've done. We've moved a lot. There's been a lot of stuff that we've had to work together, and the sheriff's office family don't always get along. I'll assure you, they don't always know what's on my mind. So let me give you what I'm going to run on and what I'm going to push forward on my next term. I've already been in contact with the Board of Supervisors about adding additional school resource officers in our schools. Our children need protection. I've been approached about bringing the DARE program, getting DARE back into the county schools. I think that's doable. I think we can do that. We have a great pilot. We need to continue to address it. I want to increase the salaries and the wages of the men and women that work for me. And it's up toward the top of the list. I've been in touch with almost every Board of Supervisors that's currently sitting, talked to them regarding the salaries and increasing them. I've been in touch with the delegates and the senators about getting health care for the deputies when they retire. I have deputies that when they retire, they can't afford the health insurance and they have to go get another job or work part-time for me when they should be able to go retire. They can't because they can't afford the insurance. It's something we need to change, and we need to work together, and I may need the community to support the good job. I want to establish a drone program. I want to get a drone program that we're ready for search and rescue, special operations, and drug eradication. I think it's doable. I think we can get that done. I want specialized training. I want specialized training for the men and women for civil disorder and lawful protest and rallies. You see what happened over in Charlottesville? The pipeline that's coming through here is highly contested. There's going to be a lot of stuff that comes with it. I don't know when it's going to come or when they're ever going to lift this stuff, but there's going to be problems. And I want to make sure that the men and women that work for the sheriff's office, that we're ready to tackle that. I would like to get a manned service patrol and utilize citizens to help with that. I want to bridge the gap and bring citizens into the sheriff's office to help us. And what that means is, you know, the trucks that go up and down the interstate and help people, I want to get one of those for the county to where we have a lot of county roads, we have a lot of rural roads, and I want to get a truck that we can help our citizens, and I want to man it with the citizens, and I think that will bridge the gap, because when you all come out and you all work alongside of us and see what the men and women go through on a daily basis, you have a whole new respect for them. I want to continue to expand the K-9 program. The K-9 program in the county. I'll have a couple dogs coming out of training in a few weeks. I want to continue to grow on that program. And my last thing is, I'm going to continue to take an aggressive approach on the drug epidemic that plagues this county. And I'm going to tell you, if it hasn't touched your family, or it hasn't crossed your family lines, it will. And I can assure you that I am dedicated, the men and women of this sheriff's office are dedicated, and we're doing everything we can to push it back. But let me be very clear. We can't arrest our way out of this problem. We have to educate our way out of this problem. We need a rehabilitation center. We need rehab, okay? We have no place. I get a phone call at least once a week about rehab and what we can do. We need a rehab program. I've been in touch with several of the legislators. They're already looking into this. It's already been studied. Hopefully we'll have that up and going and we'll get that. But stay tuned, because if I need your horsepower, I'll put it out there so the community can get behind it and we can get the changes done. But we absolutely, positively have got to address this drug problem. I promise you. Only time I ever get accused of saying too much is when I have this uniform on. Otherwise, I don't usually say too much. I've debated long and hard over a week whether I was going to bring this up. But I'm going to bring it up. And I think that I've always taken the approach, I put the facts out there, and I've always said it just like it is. And I think that's why the community supports me so much. Men and women that you see around this room, wear that badge, that had over 52,500 incidents last year. Okay? That's how many times that they interacted with the community. Service calls for service, 911 calls. There were 30,000, over 30,000 self-initiated calls, traffic stops, them engaging the public, dealing with stuff. Okay? In my first term, one of my deputies shot a dog. There's been a lot of talk. There's been a lot of information that's come across my desk over the past couple weeks over this dog. I want to just clear some things up before it even gets started and this grows legs, that this sheriff's office and I condone what happened. The deputy that shot that dog, he's a 20-year service veteran. He's worked in law enforcement, protecting the community for over 20 years. When that happened, that morning I was at church. I got the phone call. When he called me, I was convinced that one of my deputies had taken a round. Convinced of it. I placed him on leave. I suspended him for 6 months, or 6 weeks. There was an IA investigation. I gave it to the Commonwealth Attorney. I did everything that I possibly felt that I could to make sure that my office, me, and everything was being transparent, to make sure. I know this was a tragic situation. It was a bad situation. But I can assure you, over the next 6 weeks, I watched what that deputy went through. I watched what his family went through. Commonwealth Attorney said, hey, there's nothing here. He didn't do it in a malicious way. A couple weeks later, a federal lawsuit came. It went in front of a federal judge. The federal judge cleared him and said it was too quick. It happened within seconds. And the judge cleared him of any wrongdoing. Judging my entire agency, our entire agency, the men and women of this badge over one tragic incident isn't fair to the men and women that were at risk their life every day. I ask you, please stand firm with my decision. The same man that shot that dog was the same man that put Melvin Spencer away. I promised you 4 years ago that I was going to stand up and be the people's sheriff. I was going to do the right thing for all of you. I have worked day and night to fulfill my promise, and I hope that I've served you well. My name is Donald Smith. I am your sheriff. I want to stay your sheriff, and I'm asking for your vote in November. Thank you all.